Well, hello there! Today, we're thrilled to introduce to you our project, ProBot, the Bio-Integrated Autonomous Underwater System for Microplastic Remediation and Algal Bloom Control, or as we like to call it, our personal ocean superhero.
Absolutely. It's kind of like if Aquaman and a Roomba had a child, just way less human, and a lot more bacteria. But before we dive into how ProBot works, let's talk about why we even need a system like this in the first place.
Right, so here's the problem. Harmful algal blooms, or HABs for short, are like the ultimate ocean party crashers. They show up, take over the water, use up all the oxygen, block the sunlight, and end up being really bad guests for everyone else trying to live there. They hurt marine ecosystems, they mess with fisheries, they even pose health risks to us humans if we eat seafood contaminated with HAB toxins.
And let's not forget about microplastics, the tiny invaders that no one invited to the ocean party. They may be small, but they cause big problems. When marine animals eat them, they end up inside the food chain, which means they'll eventually reach us too. Plus, microplastics can interfere with nitrogen cycling, making it even easier for harmful algal blooms to show up. Talk about a vicious cycle.
So, with all this going on, we figured, hey, why not design a system to take both HABs and microplastics at the same time? That's where ProBot comes in. Picture this, a sleek, pod-like device gliding through the ocean, removing harmful algae, capturing microplastics, and hey, if it could, probably offer the fish some fresh breath mints.
We designed ProBot with durability in mind. It's made of thick glass with stainless steel seams. No cheap stuff here. And it has hydrodynamic fins, so it moves gracefully, kind of like a fish. Then, we added 2 propellers for those tight turns because we want ProBot to be agile and avoid underwater traffic jams.
Speaking of navigation, the real magic is in the front, where we've placed these sensors, fittingly called the nair. It's kind of like the nose of the system. The nair sniffs out high levels of algae, specifically harmful algal blooms. So when the sensor detects those algae indicators, it's like the ProBot's version of smelling something fishy in the water.
Once ProBot knows it's an HAB-infested area, it gets ready to drop some bioagents, like a high-tech gardener for the ocean. We've equipped ProBot with gills on each side, and through these, we release special bacteria called proteobacteria that help control harmful algae. Our lead bacteria for the job, Rhodiobaccus sphaeroides and Schwannella onidensis. They're kind of like the ocean's own cleaning crew.
Now, we did consider a third candidate, Pseudo-Alteramonas. Great name, right? Sounds like the newest superhero in a sci-fi movie.
Pseudo-Alteramonas to the rescue. But the problem with this guy is that it's not a facultative anaerobe, to which, translation, it might hog too much oxygen, which is kind of the opposite of what we're going for. So, we went with the safer option that don't disrupt the oxygen balance.
Now, let's talk microplastics. For breaking down plastics, we're using Pseudomonas putida, which has already been researched for bioremediation. It's like the ProBot's secret weapon against microplastic pollution. As ProBot moves through the water, its filtration system collects microplastic particles. These are funneled into a receptacle inside ProBot, where our Pseudomonas putida awaits, ready to turn that plastic into smaller, less harmful molecules.
It's like a tiny recycling plant inside ProBot. And for you science buffs out there, ProBot has a dedicated culture system on board to grow this bacteria, so it's always prepared and doesn't have to stop to recharge its bacterial levels.
So just to recap, ProBot has the nair for detection, the gills for bioagent release, and a filtration network for capturing debris and microplastics. It detects HABs, deploys bacteria like Rhodobacter and Schwannella, filters microplastics, and uses Pseudomonas putida to break them down, all while gliding through the ocean in style.
We like to think of it as the ocean's personal cleanup crew, with a little extra biological twist. Imagine ProBot patrolling the seas, cleaning up and restoring balance to marine ecosystems, one bloom, one plastic piece at a time.
Thank you all for your attention. ProBot may be small, but we're confident it can make big waves in the world of marine conservation. We're happy to answer any questions you have about ProBot and its mission to help our oceans thrive.